Welcome back to City Insider. This is a YouTube channel for news, stories, and analysis surrounding Manchester City Football Club. I will update new video every day. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Manchester City's Guardiola Coy on Walker spat with Arsenal. City manager Pep Guardiola refused to shed light on a post-match confrontation between Manchester City defender Kyle Walker and Arsenal set-piece coach Nicolas Jova on Sunday after the champions suffered back-to-back Premier League defeats for the first time in 5 years. Gabriel Martinelli's 86th minute shot, which beat City keeper Ederson following a heavy deflection off defender Nathan Ake's face, was enough to seal a 1-0 win for Arsenal at the Emirates and move Mikel Arteta's unbeaten side into second spot in the table, but with City dropping to third after the defeat, which followed on from last week's 2-1 loss at Wolves. Tempers frayed as fullback Walker and Jova, who used to work at City, squared up outside the tunnel as the teams left the pitch. Jova appeared to offer his hand to Walker, who refused to shake it before walking on. However, the City player then turned back to confront Jova before being pulled away by teammate Erling Haaland. Arsenal forward Bukayo Saka, who missed the game due to injury, also moved in to pull Jova away from the situation. Speaking after the game in a post-match news conference, Guardiola said he did not want to discuss the incident, despite admitting that he knew what had happened. "I know what happened, but I don't want to say anything," Guardiola said. They, Arsenal, know it. City's defeat has inflicted an early dent in their hopes of becoming the first team in English football history to win 4 successive league titles. And Guardiola said that suffering setbacks early in the season may ultimately help ease the pressure on his players to create history. "No team has ever won 4 in a row," Guardiola said. "Defeats can happen, but we are in October. Sometimes it is good going behind. It is not the first time going behind for the contenders. Last season we were much behind, but the season is long. It has happened." Kyle Walker receives fate from the FA. Manchester City vice-captain Kyle Walker has now understood his fate from the Football Association following a post-match incident at the Emirates Stadium, in a match somewhat marred by officiating controversy, but very little in the way of end-to-end drama. One of the key talking points came off the pitch and after the contest itself, as Kyle Walker became embroiled in a confrontation with a member of Arsenal backroom staff, Mikel Arteta's set-piece. Coach Nicolas Jova, formerly of Manchester City, appeared to approach Walker for a post-match handshake as the England international made his way towards the tunnel, in a gesture that was forcefully rejected by the fullback. Arsenal security staff became engaged in the incident and hurried Kyle Walker down the Emirates Stadium tunnel, along with Manchester City striker Erling Haaland, who also became involved in an attempt to remove Walker from the situation. Now, as per the BBC's Simon Stone, the Football Association, FA, will not be taking any action regarding the post-match incident involving Kyle Walker and a member of Arsenal coaching staff at the Emirates Stadium on Sunday afternoon. That means Walker will not be on the receiving end of any further sanctions or punishment, at a time when Manchester City will only just be welcoming back defensive midfield mainstay Rodri from a 3-match suspension. Man City shows interest in Alphonso Davies. Etihad Stadium officials have reportedly shown a level of interest in Bayern Munich and Canada international Alphonso Davies. According to a recent report, Manchester City's struggles in terms of finding a long-term solution in the left-back role has been well publicized in recent seasons, with failed attempts leading to Pep Guardiola utilizing defenders out of their natural roles. The likes of Alexander Zinchenko, Fabian Delph, and Bernardo Silva have all operated in the position over the years for Manchester City, while their recent answer to the issue has come in the form of Croatia international Josko Gvardiol. The former RB Leipzig star joined the club in the recent summer transfer window, and while being versatile away from his traditional role of central defense, has made the most of his minutes operating as the club's left-sided fullback. While that may have worked to great effect in the games that he has featured in, recent reports have suggested that Manchester City's intent to recruit at left-back remains, and their attentions have been somewhat focused on a well-known talent from Germany. That is according to the information of 90 Minutes, who claimed that Premier League giants Chelsea and Manchester City, as well as Real Madrid, have all shown interest in Bayern Munich's Alphonso Davies, who is set to be offered a new contract by Allianz Arena bosses. Davies' current agreement with the reigning Bundesliga champions expires in the summer of 2025, and while there may be confidence from within the club that the player will commit his future beyond that date, it is certainly not a foregone conclusion. Manchester City witnessed Alphonso Davies firsthand last season, as the eventual UEFA Champions League winners came head-to-head with Thomas Tuchel's side in the quarter-finals of the competition. However, it It was Pep Guardiola's squad that proved their strength, defeating the German side 3-0 at home, before securing a decisive 1-1 draw at the Allianz Arena with Erling Haaland on the scoresheet for the Premier League side. It is certainly too early to call whether Manchester City have any realistic possibility of signing Alphonso Davies in the near future. However, his contractual situation with Bayern Munich is one to watch with intrigue over the coming months ahead. Nottingham Forest completed £10 million transfer despite Man City interest. Nottingham Forest are said to have beaten competition from some big clubs, including Manchester City, to complete the summer signing of Murillo. The Brazilian centre-back joined Forest in the final days of the summer transfer window, completing a move from Brazilian side Corinthians. Forest paid a fee of around £10.4 million for the 21-year-old, with the potential of the price to rise by a further €3 million, £2.6 million, in add-ons. The defender was left out of the squad completely for his first 3 games as a Forest player. But he was a surprise inclusion from the start for the 1-1 draw against Brentford at the start of the month. Murillo impressed with his performance at the City ground and maintained his place in the starting 11 for Saturday's draw against Crystal Palace. He helped his side to keep a clean sheet in the 0-0 draw, but it wasn't just his defensive capabilities that caught the eye. He almost scored a spectacular goal after a mazy run through a number of Palace defenders, only for his shot to be saved. It seems that Forest's had to move quickly to sign the centre-back this summer. According to The Athletic, a number of big clubs, including Man City, were monitoring the 21-year-old in the transfer window. Murillo has only played for 1 full season in senior football, making his Corinthians debut last season. He went on to play a total of 31 times throughout the campaign, but is yet to register a senior goal despite showing his attacking prowess in his early Forest appearances. Speaking after the draw against Palace, Steve Cooper revealed why he waited to give Murillo his debut for the club. "We know he's a talent, but I just wanted to take a little bit of time before I put him in the team, and I wanted it to be at home, which was last week," he told Sky Sports. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.